very interesting this week. Some news came up a couple of days ago in the entertainment world. It's very odd. So Miramax is letting go of I guess they're Universal because they own Miramax. They're letting go of the Halloween property. They've had the property for a good while now. And now that they've sort of rebooted it in this part of the 2000s, they've decided that it's time to sell it. And lo and behold, the two top bidders in the war for Halloween are none other than Paramount, okay, major studio, one of the four major studios, and A24. That's right. The groundbreaking, original, esoteric sort of, the indie darling of all genres at this point is now the lead to take over the rights to develop a TV series exclusively based on the Halloween property. Now, this is very fascinating because we've just ended the new version of Halloween, last Halloween, and we were all kind of moving on from it. But no, Shah, it looks like Michael Myers is still alive and A24 might be knocking on the door. Shah, you are the king of A24 propaganda. Your thoughts?
Oh man, I'm all over the place with this, honestly. I know the Friday the 13th series is coming out fairly soon. That's next year, right?
Is that Netflix, guys, or Hulu? Who's got that B?
I think it was Hulu.
Was it Peacock? I can check that.
Oh shit, it might be Peacock.
But once they got their hand in that, I was already feeling a little bit uncomfortable with their future and the direction they're heading. This is kind of concerning to me, man. I mean, if anybody, because it's like it's too big of a brand. It's already something that's already a well-known franchise. That's not really A24. I was going to say AEW.
AEW.
That's not
Orange
A24,
Cassidy is going to be Mike Myers.
Because A24 is very original, right? I mean, doing Halloween, is it original? Like, you're already taking a concept, and I'm sure they're going to put their own spin on it and make it cool or whatever. But I don't want that to happen, honestly. But if there is anybody that's gonna, prolong the life of Michael Myers beyond Halloween ends, I trust A24 with it, but doesn't mean particularly I want to see it happen. But again, I'm not the biggest like Halloween and Friday fan, but I would definitely watch it. I mean, it'll bring a shit ton of money to A24, but that also again concerns me because I don't think we'll get movies like Saint Maud and Hereditary and things of that nature as much as we used to. We'll still get them like maybe once a year or whatever. They'll put out that weird horror just to stick to their roots. But, I don't want to see them. And I like Talk to Me, but that was more so that was like one of their main basic bitch horror movies, right? Like the concept is kind of like mainstream. It's not A24.
You're referring to the concept, not the execution, though.
No, the concept.
Stark differences there.
Yeah. No, just the concept.
Shah, would you say the execution is all A24 in that fucking movie?
Yeah, which is hence the reason why I actually liked it. Because like the concept alone, if another studio did it, I probably wouldn't like it. Because again, the story is not that crazy. Like if Blumhouse did that, it'd be a blue tinted, basic bitch horror movie with a couple of jump scares. And that would be it.
That death scene wouldn't be in there. I'll tell you that right now.
Right. I mean, a lot of the stabbing.
A lot of the
crazy stuff wouldn't be in there. I don't know, man. I guess we'll see. I do think they're going to get it, though. I do.
I do, too. I think the fact that they want it means they're going to get it. Now, B-Show, you love A24, but you love Halloween. I mean, so not even, you know what I mean? It's, I'm very curious to see your vibe on this because it seems like it's going to happen. This is a very mainstream news story. It's not a fringe news story.
Yeah. And point of clarification from movieweb.com. So Trancas International is the company that's owned the rights to the Halloween series since the 70s. Mm-hmm. They are the ones shopping it out. And apparently Miramax is fighting with A24 over the rights. So it's like a bidding war type of thing. So Miramax is trying to hang on to it. And Miramax has had the rights, oh God, since
the zombie, right?
No, since Halloween H2O, I think, was Dimension. So that's 1998.
Dimension, that's right, because Miramax bought Dimension, right?
Or actually, no, Halloween 6, 1995.
The Curse?
Yes.
The Return.
Curse of Michael Myers, yeah.
Okay.
So since 1995, they've had the distribution rights or the rights to the films.
Oh God, that's a long time.
And now they went to Blumhouse, and now Miramax is fighting with A24. Here's the thing. I'm as big a Halloween fan as you can find. I honestly don't want to see any more Halloween films for a while. After honestly seeing what Blumhouse did to the series, just give it a rest. You can't miss it unless it goes away for a while, and it doesn't have to be rushed out. We've seen with Star Wars on Disney, or even the Marvel, just pumping show after show after show. It just waters it down and ends up being too much. However, if someone is going to take it and do something with it, I would much rather it be a studio like A24 than Blumhouse, because
Blumhouse
we've
isn't
seen
even in the running, B.
no, but that's what I'm saying is like
Yeah.
seeing what Blumhouse did with it. If they're gonna do something with it, fucking A24, they're doing the Frankenstein thing, right?
Right.
And it's a completely different take on the Frankenstein story. Other people have done Possession. Other studios have done haunting movies. Other studios have done things about like the occult. A24 seems to really dig in and do a lot of nuanced things, to take chances. And I think the Halloween series is simple enough in a story, like boil it down. It's simple enough as a story, but with all these other elements and directions it can go to just kind of enhance it and make it better. I think if there's a studio that I would like to see pick this up, it would be A24. So yeah, if they're gonna do it, go for it. I might get into detail next week if I have some time in a video or
Yeah, it'd be
an
a
additional
good
audio
sort of
episode.
walkthrough there, because there's a lot of information, there's a lot of history.
Yeah, and
Now,
there's a lot of source material too. Like they've gone a ton of different directions. You can essentially cherry pick some of the best, almost like the Platinum Dudes Friday the 13th did. Not everyone liked that, but they went back to the first 3 films and said, okay, this is really one long movie. So why don't we take the best out of like episode 2, 3, and 4, and we'll make one really good movie out of it. So another thing too is this is not film rights, this is TV rights.
right. Well, that's the other thing. But here's the thing: the way we got to get thinking outside of the box here. TV rights are enormous. The Star Wars success from TV rights, the Marvel success from TV rights. You got things like Stranger Things from Netflix with TV rights. We're gonna have this fall of House of Usher, which we really have not talked about. The Mike Flanagan stuff. TV rights now for horror is not what it was even 2 or 3 years ago. TV rights for any major studio property. Nobody goes, ugh, they're making a TV show out of that now. I mean, they fucking Halo on goddamn Paramount, for God's sake. That cost like $200 fucking million. Now, Shah, to my understanding, A24 has never done a TV series. Is that accurate? Do you know if they've ever done a TV series?
Yeah, I believe Friday is going to be their first one, as far as I know. You know what would be interesting though, if this does happen, I think it's going to be so divisive in the horror community that like
God.
the entertainment we'll get out of that. You can probably do like fucking 15 weeks in a row of just
Oh,
people.
Yeah. Oh, forget it.
Because you know the hardcore Halloween fans, they're gonna hate A24's take on it. The people that love A24 will say this is better than the original movie. It'll get wild, and we're already gonna get that with Friday, so you'll get a taste of that soon.
So A24 is developing it in conjunction with Paramount. Is that what's happening? They have for Friday
No,
the 13th?
Friday the 13th, they're doing Crystal Lake on Peacock.
Peacock. Okay. A24 has nothing to do with that?
No, they do.
They do.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
I thought you meant with Paramount. It's not with Paramount.
So yeah, but Shah, but here's the thing. If A24 is already doing a series for Peacock on Friday the 13th, this is an extension of that in every way. Like there's no, it's almost like it makes 50 times more sense now, and it's not as like shocking for people. Now, do you think Friday is going to be the litmus test? Because we don't know. Look, we have no idea what's going to happen. Let's presume A24 wins, and in the next 3 years, you're going to have a Crystal Lake next year, and then you're going to have Friday the 13th and Halloween in 2025. Do you think this also chills out any movie hopes for reboots of Friday the 13th, which a lot of people were trying to fucking get back in theaters, and Halloween, which B-Show is saying there's a major hangover now from this shit, and people are already not into it. Do you think that that's a better direction because streaming means a lot more now on television?
I wonder if it's a success if A24 would get the rights or try to get the rights for like a Friday the 13th movie.
Oh God.
But again, that's not something I want to see necessarily. You know what I mean? Like I don't want them. I don't need A24 doing Halloween and Friday. If anything, I would like to see them do Nightmare on Elm Street, because like that is almost like surreal. Like that's more along their alley.
Yeah.
That's more so what they do. I can see them getting weird with and artsy with that, but you know, doing like a Friday, like an artsy Friday the 13th, I just don't know how they pull it off. But then again, you know, they do what they do, man. I'm sure when it
Yeah, I
happens,
mean, look, let's be honest. We can't. They do what they do. Like, you know what I'm saying? And B show, this is a prequel for Crystal Lake, so we're not getting Jason in a hockey mask running around cutting up titties. It's the camp. It's probably the precursor to him even, like him and his mother even going there. Like, I imagine that's part of it.
Yeah, from what I know, they haven't released many details, but that's pretty much it. It's the story before the story, essentially. So
Mhm.
I'm not a huge fan of I guess prequels, and for some reason, it's like there's a lot of what's the word? There's too much explanation and not enough action in
Mm.
those types of movies. Like there's certain things that keep things mysterious. Like they were talking about doing a Nightmare on Elm Street prequel a while back, telling the story of Fred Krueger before he was Freddy. It's like, but no,
Yeah.
the
Him getting
franchise is
paper route,
yeah.
him going through puberty.
It's like, no, why do we want to see him being an asshole to kids, like as a maintenance guy to school or something? Like that's not the story, and it takes that mystique out of it. Same thing with if they did like the origins of Jason. It's like, no, he's a fucking dude who was thought to have been dead. His mom gets killed, and he's a big simpleton who comes back for revenge. Like
Right.
I agree with Shah. I can see I can see A24 being kind of up the alley for Halloween because you can go in different esoteric directions with it
Oh,
based
for
on
sure. Yeah.
how you treat the mythology. Jason, that seems a lot more straight ahead and not up their alley. So
Well, if you guys saw, Joe Punches brought this up a little earlier. He was saying, what if they did a series about Michael Myers when he was in the fucking insane asylum? I mean, that's some fucking ill shit. Shaq, can you imagine an A24 asylum-based TV series on a child, Michael Myers being a child in an adult insane asylum? I mean, seriously,
I
does that make A24 sense?
820. I honestly, I do see that, man. I can already see it in my head with the insane asylum. If they take that approach, I can totally see that.
Yeah.
By the way, my dog is throwing up in the background. I hope you caught
Yeah,
that.
because your dog is really more of a Nightmare on Elm Street fan and is really upset about these reboots. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if it's going to be a series where we get a young Loomis, or something like that, show, I'm not that interested in it. It's going to be some, like 20-something-year-old, like hipster British guy who gets the part of a young Loomis in the 60s, becoming a doctor, studying different psychopaths, which lead him to find the psychopath of psychopath, Michael Myers. I mean, I feel like you can kind of see that might be a direction for this, right? Because I don't think we're going to get the adult Michael Myers every week getting chased on a TV show like the old Hulk TV series or something.
yeah, no, I agree. And someone brought up something on Twitter a while back. I don't know if it was We Watched a Movie. It was one of the horror creators that I follow, and they said to even do that, like the special thing with Loomis was that the idea was he was a seasoned, like regular Joe psychiatrist, a man of science, somewhat like he's seen a lot of shit, but it's like real world benign insanity. And he is so freaked out by this one case that he can't wrap his head around. Like that's what made it special. It's like this is unlike anything I've ever seen, and it's a 7-year-old kid. Like to go back and show him like Law and Order SVU style, like trying to investigate all these crazy murder. It would almost take
Young
the stink.
Loomis.
Yeah. He
It'd be
killed
like
that
young
man.
Sheldon. Young Loomis.
He killed that man right in front of me. Like, no, you wouldn't want to see that every week because it was special because this was the one case. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, we got Kevin Castle's joined us. Kevin Castle, for the record, I love 2009 reboot of Friday the 13th. I didn't like. I liked it fine. It's just very dark. Way better to make Jason a deformed survivalist than a big goof with supernatural powers. I haven't seen that in a long time. I don't know what you guys think of that movie, but I found it very dark, and that's becoming a problem for me. I felt you couldn't see shit in that motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with Kevin. I actually really like that one. When it came to like reboots, I think that's one of the forgotten ones because that wasn't bad. Like the Nightmare on Elm Street, like that remake was fucking.
That was pretty terrible. I like that
Yeah.
actor quite a bit, but and he tried his best, but that's Rorschach, dude. But
yeah, it was terrible.
That was the makeup was bad. And Slate Cheeks, I mean dark as in the quality, the film quality. I can't see anything. It's so fucking pitch black. I couldn't see shit in that movie. The Friday the 13th. Bisha, what's your take on the 2009?
I like the 2009 one. It seems more, again, I've been doing this while I work. I've been watching the Friday the 13th movies in the background, and I noticed I like the first 3 or 4 a lot more than 6, 7, 8 when they
Me
start
too.
getting out there, and
Oh yeah.
like everything just seems so cornball, and I don't know, man. I like them for what they are, but I agree with Kev Castle 100%. Like,
Mm.
he's a backwoods dude, lost his mom, he's a simpleton, he's killing people. Almost like in the same vein of Leatherface. Like,
Right.
if you had like episode 5 of Texas Chainsaw and all of a sudden he holds his chainsaw up to the sky and gets electrocuted and supercharged like Frankenstein, and now he's punching holes in people. Like, no, come on.
Yeah. And the other
That's just
thing
too
is
much.
the difference is both Jason and Mike Myers are kind of cock diesel. And Leatherface has the dad bod, Shah. Like he can't do cardio, Leatherface.
See what Kev is saying, like that could be cool. I would like to see Tourist Trap
Oh my
redone
God.
by A24. That's
Yeah.
something they would fucking kill.
Wow.
Yeah. Can you imagine? But for people who don't see it, Kevin Castle is saying if they bought the rights of the 80s slasher films, The Prowler, The Burning, Hell Night, Funhouse, A24's interpretation of The Burning, it would probably be like Hereditary style uncomfortableness. I can't even imagine. Like they would, like A24 taking on those, like doing Madman Mars. Jesus Christ. I don't know that I want to see that. It'd be too uncomfortable. I like this idea. Listen, I'm A24 is batting 1,000. I mean, they're like the 1926 Yankees or some shit. Like it's just like they don't have a lot of duds. So if they take on a mainstream property, I do have a question for you guys, and for the chat too, because I know some other people probably like the 2009 Friday the 13th. If that 2009 Friday the 13th came out today, am I wrong in thinking it would be a wild success? Just stylistically, the killings are very brutal. It's gory. It's hard R. What's her face is smoking hot in it. Timberlake's wife. Do you think, Shah, if that came out today, that would be a hit?
Mm, I don't. No, I don't think it would be. I like what just in the chat room real quick. Joe Punch is mentioning Rawhead Rex.
Yeah.
Dude, I just discovered the original comics of Rawhead Rex, like the I guess like the graphic novels.
Yeah.
And the way it looks in those is
it's
fucking
dope, dude.
crazy looking.
Yeah.
So he's right. If A24 gets that, dude, I would cream my pants because I already know the creature would look fucking crazy. Because Rawhead Rex is one of those throwback movies that I'm not a big fan of. But
I like it.
I
like it. It's Australian.
you?
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, is that Clive Barker? No, that's whose story is that? The original?
It's Clive Barker.
Yeah, it's Clive Barker's story. Those Clive Barker comic books. By the way, Shah, if you think those look good, you should look at the Hellraiser comic books. They look fucking amazing.
Yeah, look at this thing.
Yeah,
holy shit,
so fucking cool.
Look at that. I mean, yeah, we're not even doing it. Look at that motherfucker.
Yeah, that looks cool as shit, man.
Yeah.
If you're listening and you're not watching this on YouTube or in the chat, you're missing out. That's for sure.
Yeah, there's nothing that looks like this. Look at this.
I mean,
is this Temple Smith? Is this the guy who did 30 Days a Night? It looks like his shit. Ben Temple Smith. I could be wrong. But yeah, Tourist Trap, Kev. I got these guys into Tourist Trap. Bisho likes Tourist Trap now. But Bisho, do you think if the 2009 version came out today with everybody's palettes, you have to remember now we've had a decade of A24, a decade, a resurgence of slasher, a resurgence, like we've had a rise in horror being mainstream. We have horror channels. We have Terrifier 2 being talked about on the Good Morning America. You don't think the 2009 today version of Friday the 13th would be perceived way differently?
I think it would be. Yeah, I'm kind of conjured out. Like, I understand the appeal of, like, I don't know, possession and all this weird shit happening, and it kind of dovetails with society and how people seem to be so incensed. And it's like, how, like, you have to be possessed if you're acting and speaking like this. I get it, but there's been a lot of those movies that have come out in the past 5 or 10 years, and I feel like a return to some more straight ahead, scary campfire talesy type of shit, some real world stuff. The neighbor, the horror next door, the boogeyman on the corner,
The boogeyman
peering in your window. It's just, I think things are ebbing and flowing and swinging, and I think Terrifier 2 broke through a little bit. So I would agree with you. I think with the climate right now, with the movies we've seen over the last 5 or 10 years, that Friday the 13th is a lot better than people give it credit for. And I think it would be a success, especially given the name today. Because if it wasn't, then why is Peacock, like, why are they doing Crystal Lake?
Well, yeah. Why did Hulu buy Predator? Why did Hulu buy Hellraiser? You know, like, and by the way, I just want to clear this up. Kevin Castle just reminded me of this. He didn't actually say it, but he said it indirectly. Shah, I confused Rawhead Rex with Razorback. Razorback from Australia, the 80s
that's
horror
a dope
movie. That's what I kept confusing it with. That is a fucking dope movie. It is an Australian horror classic. Rawhead Rex I like Rawhead Rex, but Razorback, if you've never seen it. B, did you watch that Australian horror documentary we talked about a couple years ago? I think it was on Shudder. Did you ever see it, Shah? It's the Aussie horror. It's like, it's got like that good shit.
No, I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah, Razorback is a part of that, not Rawhead Rex. So I completely fucked that up, but I just wanted to clear that up.
It just came out on Blu-ray. Scream Factory just put out
Razorback?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like. You have it, Shah?
No, I don't have it yet.
Yeah.
I don't have it. I do have Rawhead Rex. That got a 4K, but I never upgraded because it's not a movie that I particularly enjoy to the point of wanting to upgrade it to a 4K. I already have the Blu-ray, so. But yeah, man, a lot of fucking movies I'm discovering that I didn't know before, and that's what I love about just blind buying a lot of these, because I had no idea what Rawhead Rex was until like last year. Even though I didn't particularly like it, I still like discovering these weird movies. But yeah, well, I don't think, just to add to what I was saying earlier, I don't think if it came out right now though it would be a success. I mean, it would be a success as far as financially. I just still think people would shit on it because movies like Exorcist, all these huge franchises, people go into them with such high expectations because they compare it to the original. It's always going to get shit on. No matter what you do with Halloween, Exorcist, Friday, people are going to shit on them immediately. I do think it'll financially make a shit ton of money, but no, I don't think it would be perceived differently today.
You know what? I agree with you, but the only exception to that is Halloween Kills. A lot of people didn't like it, but the one thing everyone seemed to like universally was that flashback scene. When they go back to 78 after,
I like that scene a lot.
Everybody loved that.
I like that scene a lot.
The mask freaks who like create and collect and edit masks and go crazy over the like fucking little points of detail. Everyone loved the mask. Everyone loved just the way it was shot. Everyone loved the way it came off. So I agree. Everyone's gonna shit like certain movies like that. It's like the Star Trek of fucking horror movies when you have a Halloween or whatever. Some people like some shit. Some people hate it. But that scene universally was loved by mostly everybody that I saw that movie. So I don't know. Maybe there's something they can tap into with some of these where they can please most people. And who cares if it's just the most hardcore nerds that don't like it, I guess.
And if I'm not mistaken, Bisho, that was a CGI version of Loomis, right?
Well, yeah, it was an actor with a prosthetic.
Okay, but then they CG'd the voice and all that stuff, or
I think it was a voice actor.
It was a voice actor who did a hell of a fucking job. And
it was an actor with a prosthetic, and then they did the voice afterward. Yeah, I think.
Shout out to Chris Matthews. He was talking about Derek Mears, who's very good, but of course he loves Kane Hodder. And of course, shout out to Claire Chaos, who also said it